Well, it is Valentine's Day, or the day I'm recording this is Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2021. So, by the time that I publish this video, Valentine's Day will be long over. So, until then, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I hope everyone has found love and joy during these unpredictable times. Well, why did I disappear for a little bit? Well, things in my life got busy, and they're about to get busy even more. So I'm still going to be publishing videos, but again, it's going to be going back to just maybe a few a week. So I'm still here, and hang on tight because I won't be around that much. But until then, let's get down to this review, okay? We have The Last Man Standing, Jerry Lee Lewis. Yes, the killer himself, Jerry Lee Lewis, the last man standing. He really is the last man standing right now as I talk to you. He outlasted almost every musical icon after. Like, there was Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Amy Winehouse, Kurt Cobain, Chester Bennington. He outlasted everybody, including Freddie Mercury. Jerry Lee Lewis really is the last rock icon alive, the last rock and roll pioneer standing. Just last spring, we lost Little Richard. A couple years ago, I was saying that he and Little Richard were the last men standing. Well, now it's just Jerry. But a decade ago, actually 15 years ago, Jerry Lee made this duet album. And these are the names of all the people he performs with, including Rod Stewart, Willie Nelson, Eric Clapton, Little Richard, Bruce Springsteen, and Kris Kristofferson. And speaking of Kris Kristofferson, I actually am going to review the Blade films coming up. So my next review is going to be on the first Blade movie, which is a movie Kris Kristofferson is in. On this album, released on the 50th anniversary of his debut with Sun Records, this shows us that the killer was still with us and he was still able to jam like it was the mid-50s. The first song was a duet with Jimmy Page. It's called Rock and Roll. It is just hearing the song Rock and Roll by itself was just, whoo, wow, it's like a time machine back to the mid-50s. If you're a fan of 1950s music, this album is for you. If you're a Jerry Lee Lewis fan, this album is definitely for you. I showed this to a friend of mine who loves the 50s culture, and he's like, no way, really? I played this album to a friend of mine, and she was like, wow, I actually remember hearing Jerry Lee when I was a little girl. And I showed I showed a picture of the album to my girlfriend's grandfather, and he was like, oh, good old Jerry Lee. I even showed this to my grandfather, and he was like, I liked his music, but I didn't like his stage performances. I thought he was too much of a man-child. I personally think Jerry Lee Lewis still has just a little bit of an ego problem. That's all I want to say. Once this pandemic is over, I want to meet Jerry Lee Lewis and let him know that there are lots of young fans out there that admire his music. They may question his choices, but they love his music, and he sure, pioneered rock and roll showmanship by setting his piano on fire and just that energy in the ballroom, just electrifying, charging everybody. You just can't sit still listening to Jerry Lee Lewis. You just gotta dance. That's why I listen to this album in the car, because I'm on the move a lot. I really enjoy this album. In fact, it's a shame that I have to return this to the library in just a few days. This is a masterpiece. 10 out of 10 stars for The Last Man Standing by Jerry Lee Lewis. So, if you have access to Amazon, get that album, you guys. You're gonna enjoy it.